All right, Mr. Christopher, we are live.
Well, that's better than being dead.
That is true. That's what we hear all the time when people are going live. We're like, at least we are no longer dead, because that's how it's been the last year. It's just been a
Can
real
I just
fun.
say it's not been that way for the last year for me. I've had an amazing time and I've created so much.
That's true. Well, you didn't let me finish. I meant for the rest of the world, not people with white
Well,
voice.
I know it's true.
No, but there's been a lot going on around the world for everyone. But it's also been this like world of possibility to
Hmm.
explore things maybe you never explored before, didn't have time before, but really start looking from within and add more things to your life.
Absolutely. I know it's been said before, but that after the Black Plague in Europe in the Renaissance, well, actually, sorry, just before the Renaissance, it did create the Renaissance afterwards. There was this birth and this flourishing of creativity, growth, and people trying new things, as you say.
Yeah.
So,
We kind of jump right in, but do you want to introduce yourself?
yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Mr. Christopher Lee Hughes. I'm coming to you live here from Brisbane, Australia this morning, and I am a Right Voice for You facilitator. Indeed, I am the honcho. I write the manuals, I teach the facilitator training, and one of our most divine, delightful, inspirational, and adept facilitators of Right Voice for You is your host here, Miss Laleh Hancock. So we were having a conversation here this morning about being the voice of a new possibility.
Can I just say, Right Voice for You is a specialty class within Access Consciousness for people who are watching and they don't know what that is. But, in the last year, you had the ability to facilitate some classes online, and it's different. Like this whole energy of Right Voice for You has also transformed as the world is transforming. So I'm curious, can you share a little bit about maybe like what you noticed was different in people having their voice in the middle of all this stuff going on?
Well, suddenly we're all forced to be on camera, right? Like those who didn't work from home before, suddenly doing everything on Zoom and having conference calls. And you're confronted all the time with this image of yourself, pardon, confronted. But some people are not that comfortable being on camera or seeing themselves or hearing their voice play back to them in an ear set. And it brings up a lot of judgment for people. So there is a totally new way that we are interacting with each other and interfacing. And that has been, for me, what this year has totally changed. So I've adapted and changed a lot of my Right Voice for You classes to be about that, like to be about presenting yourself online or being on camera and getting over your point of view about it. So like I say, and as we've mentioned before, you're given this particular situation or the world is going in a particular way. So you don't lie down as a victim and go, well, I can't facilitate anymore or I can't create my business. You change and adapt and work around it so that something else is possible.
Yeah. And even tonight, we were supposed to be on a different medium to go live, StreamYard. And I've never had any problems with StreamYard. I've never had any problems with my camera and sound. And I couldn't get in. It said no camera, no sound. And, like in the past, I don't know, maybe a long time ago for me, like I would be like nervous, like, oh, we're supposed to go do this. Now, what do we do? And you're like, hey, should we reschedule? I'm like, no, how about we do Zoom? How about we Zoom it to Facebook? Because like one of the things that I have found personally, whether I'm facilitating or, I've been a participant of this amazing class, is your own ease, no matter what's going on around you. So like just being more calm and asking the question, like I was like, hey, what else is possible? Like what other options are actually available for us we haven't considered yet?
Completely. And here we go. It's as like we have one of the other businesses I work with is the Antique Guild. And for years we've traveled the world showing people our jewelry in events and shows where they can come and see them and handle the pieces. And well, guess what? For the last year, we haven't to do that. And at first we went, oh,
You're
what are
good.
we going to do? So we started doing things online, and yeah, presenting was online and still allowing people to see what we're doing. And we've had benefits for El Lugar, a project that's being created in Costa Rica. It's been a flourishing of creativity,
Yeah.
but that's always my world.
Yeah. But see, mm, depending on who's watching, that is their world. They no matter what's going on, they find an alternative way to succeed. They find an alternative way to take this lemon and turn some lemonade and some other things. Lemon can be made in so many ways now. So like it really is. And when you are willing to actually have more of your voice, like I'll be honest, I didn't get to facilitate this class until last week. Because for a while, Gary had asked, that we don't facilitate online for the 3-day class. And I realized myself how much I really missed the energy of being this right voice for me, and how much it's part of so many things in my life. And I love to facilitate. I've been facilitating this last year. I've had lots of workshops, but the last right voice was an intro that I did with Ina and Desiree about something about locking our voice or something at the beginning of the lockdowns. But it's amazing how much we don't realize we are toning our voice down. We are toning ourselves down with some things that are going on sometimes in our lives. But if you're willing to go the opposite. So Chris, can you talk a little bit more about, like, we say turn it up when you would normally go the opposite direction and tone it down?
Absolutely. Like, as it's so easy to make yourself a victim, or that tends to be the tendency, is to go, oh, well, cancel everything. We can't do it. It's not going to work. We're not allowed. The ultimate they who imposes all the restrictions on us is saying no. So obviously we should just lay down and die. But for those of you out there, like we said, with the creation thing, like that is really your world. For so many of you, probably the biggest problem you encounter is boredom, and you get bored so damn easy. I know that's definitely my thing. Like I was speaking with Gary Douglas the other day, who's the founder of Access Consciousness, for anyone out there who's not heard of him. And one of the things that, for those who are brave enough, we look at in Access is, what's your agenda? Like, what does motivate so many of your choices? And I said to him, I don't think I've ever really had much of a look at what my agenda is. And he said, well, no, you haven't. So I said, well, is it to be right all the time? And he said, no. And I said a few other things, and he said, dude, is it possible that your agenda is not the thing that you've decided is so wrong about you? It's not this hideous, horrible secret that you're like trying to manipulate everybody and get their money. He said, could you possibly look at the fact that you are obsessively, compulsively, constantly creating and instituting something? And if not, you're bored out of your mind and you become depressive. It's like, that's your agenda. Your agenda is to constantly create. And that is true for me. And I know that so many of you out there, you aren't happy, and you do start to create depression and destruction if you're not like exploding into 1,000 projects. And this past year, or whatever's going on right now, does not have to be anything that stops you.
Mm-hmm. And that is the key right there. Because we always want to blame others and situation around the world and all of that to, I couldn't do it because, like even Portugal 3 weeks ago, almost 4 weeks ago, they went into complete lockdown, made it stricter than it was even back in March, because the numbers just skyrocketed like triple, quadruple times. And it's been really weird and interesting because they're social people, they actually don't want to be on a Zoom. They want to meet in person. And so it's been really interesting just to see the dynamics of how things are changing here as well. But you have that choice. Each of us gets to choose, what are we going to choose as our own reality? And is it going to be to sit, hide, close your laptop, close everything? Or are you actually going to look at what's going to be fun for you? I
Mm.
mean, this is something no one talked about. I don't know that I took a million workshops, seminars, for years, 30 years in business. I did a lot of training. Not one talked about what would be fun for you. Explore that and expand on that, and like gets your body healthier. Like it's just this domino effect of positivity that happens in your world. But yet, no one talks about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like this last week, one of the things I'm super excited about when you're talking about what's fun, I reached out to my very first singing teacher from high school. She trained me 25 years ago. And I contacted her and I said, would you be willing to train me on Zoom? And she said, oh my God, yes.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
she's in Canada. I'm in Australia. I haven't seen her for 25 years and we're still going to do this.
So
Like, I don't care if I'm not doing it to perform. I'm not doing it for anything other than, hey, that feels like fun to me. That's something I'd like to add to my life.
yeah. And that's the thing also, I think during these times, people don't know what's happening on COVID and blah, blah, blah. So they stop remembering the things they would like to add to their lives. So, what would you like to add to your life that's actually going to be fun for you and explore and get you to actually expand your energy instead of going the opposite direction? So, for me, I miss driving a car. I've been in Portugal almost a year now and haven't been able to drive.
Uh,
That's hard.
and you love cars. I know
Oh,
you love your cars.
but you know what I realized? I was being silly. Why am I not scheduling my next gift of cars event? Like, why not look to the future of things I like to create? I'm looking at going to Mexico. I'm looking at a lot of things in my future, but I wasn't adding the things that I love. One, jewelry, two, cars, the things that truly bring me a lot of joy.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And one thing I'd love for people listening out there to take away from this is, we talked about this, titling this Zoom as becoming the voice of a new possibility. When you actually choose that, when you start doing the things that bring you joy and creating rather than taking no for an answer, that is an inspiration to those around you. People see that, or they hear it, or they just are around you and notice that you're being different. And that is an inspiration and a voice to something else.
Yeah.
Like
And
the impact that we have on people around us, just by how much ease we have, is it touches people in ways that we quite often don't see the immediate effect of. Like my hairdresser said to me, I was there yesterday, and he said, every time you leave the salon, everyone else getting their haircut says, who is that? You don't realize how different you all are and the impact you have just by your being, and what a voice in the world that is.
yeah. And it's not a destination, that's the cool part of this, is like you expanding and being greater every single day. There is no destination because, people hear like, what is right voice for you? Like, what is being you? Like all these things, but it's like, it's not a destination. It's what you're choosing every single day to be more of you and to have more of what you would like to add to your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to look like, I love that you love cars. I hate cars. Ponpoc hate, but they have zero interest to me. Like if someone asked me to describe my car, I would be like, it's blue. Like they're like so not interesting to me. But so many of the things that I like, love, and adore, it would be the same thing. So it's not about doing something that others will agree with or like. It's about doing what you truly like and sits and lights you up. And that energy, that infectious enthusiasm is what everyone else can go, hey, if you can do that, what could I be choosing?
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much for this, Chris. This is so cool. Yeah.
You're so welcome. So do you have something coming up? When's your next Right Voice for You class?
Well, after I did the 3-day, I'm like, we have to have another one on the calendar. So we have, it's called Creative Playground, and it's going to be on Monday. It's a 1-day Right Voice for You class. And it's like, is now the time to add something to your life? New business, new project, new hobby, whatever it is. And it's going to be split into 3 days that we're going to do a lot of creative playing. So that's what it's called. And my next 3-day, we scheduled it. It's going to be March 8th through the 10th in Mexico City.
Boom.
Boom.
That is so cool.
What about you? What
Awesome.
do you have going on?
I have a class on February 14th in America and South America. For Australasia, it's the 15th, and it's called Foreplay.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
It's a 1 hour introduction class on sex and copulation. And usually my classes like this are $69, but this one, because it's foreplay, it's $68 because it's coming before the main event.
I love you and I love your creativity. I think it's awesome.
And then I have at the end of February, I'm foggy on the dates, I apologize. I do have a business and money, joy of business class.
Ooh, one of my other favorite specialties. Yay, yay. And this is the thing I want to invite people to. The thing about Right Voice for You is there's no prereqs. You don't have to have taken anything to be able to attend this class, but it's this incredible invitation to be whatever you'd like to be. And what I love is I have a ton of kids and teenagers who also come to class, even if their parents do not. Because there's something about having your voice that just calls on all ages. So if it's tickling you, you may want to ask a few more questions and see if it might be fun for you to attend one of these classes.
Some people like to be tickled. Some people don't.
You're right.
What is your body like?
Okay. Did I get you happy? Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I've got to go to my next job.
Thank you for
The
going to
antique
your
you.
next job and getting some more beautiful jewelry for us.
I will.
All right.
I'll do my best.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Ciao.